Hello everybody. Today in this module I will be teaching you all on effect of intrinsic and extrinsic factors on microorganisms. When we talk about microorganism growth, which is very critical because very growth will lead to food spoilage. This growth, if beneficial, is going to lead to food fermentation, and if this growth is taking place will lead to toxins and leading to various types of foodborne diseases. When we talk about the growth factor which promotes the microorganism, they are classified into two categories. First one as intrinsic factor, second one as extrinsic factor. Intrinsic factors, which means they are present within the food, and extrinsic factor, which means it is present outside in the environment. Intrinsic factors include pH, nutrients, oxidation reduction potential or OR potential, inhibitory substance and biological structure, antimicrobial factors. Extensive factors include temperature, relative humidity or moisture content, gases or oxygen in the environment, presence of other microorganisms. When we talk about pH, this pH is very critical for any food product. There become are many enzymes which are the biocatalyst and which are dependent on pH. Use of pH can either promote the activity of the enzymes or it can denature or it can stop the activity of enzyme. pH is not only a parameter which is promoting the growth of microorganism, the very pH can be used to prevent the growth of microorganism. For example, any food product containing pH less than 4.6 is generally regarded as safe because most of the microorganisms, especially bacteria, are not capable of growing at pH which is acidic. This is the reason why we use pickling as one technique to extend the shelf life, because as the fermentation or the acid is being produced, pH is lowered down and microorganisms are not able to grow there. Now, what is pH? It is a measure of the activity of the hydrogen ions. It measures the hydrogen ion concentration. Pure water pH is very close to 7 at 25 degrees Celsius. Solution with a pH less than 7 are said to be acidic, and solution with a pH greater than 7 are basic or alkaline. The intrinsic pH of food varies with origin and type of food. That is, in their natural state, most of the foods such as meat, fish and vegetables are slightly acidic, while most fruits are moderately acidic. When we talk about nutrient content, if a food is rich, for example, milk, meat, or any kind of fruit or food which is rich in sugar, they undergo spoilage very fast. Therefore, nutrients, the composition of food, also play a very important role in designing what spoilage we are going to see and what spoilage pattern is in specific food. For example, if we pick up fruit versus a vegetable, the chances are that the fruit is undergoing spoilage much faster in comparison to vegetables, because the fruit is having sugar and it is very suitable media for the growth of yeast. Microorganisms have need of certain basic nutrients for their growth and maintenance of physiological functions. These nutrients, like human being, they also require energy, nitrogen, vitamins and minerals. Microorganisms select their food as substrate on the basis, kinds and proportions of nutrients present in food. Various amount of nutrients are present in food. Plant food have high concentration of different types of carbohydrate and varying level of protein, minerals and vitamin. Milk and milk products and egg are also rich in nutrients. When we talk about oxidative reduction potential or OR potential, it is ease with which the substrate loses or gain electron. If a substrate loses of electron, it is called as oxidized. If a substrate gain the electrons, it is called as reduced. On the basis of oxidative reduction potential, microorganisms are classified as aerobic, that is oxygen loving, anaerobic, they do not require oxygen, microaerobic organism require little of oxygen or air, facultative anaerobes grow in intestine and if given a chance they love to grow in the presence of oxygen. When we talk about antimicrobial compounds, they are substances that are present in the food, for example as spices. They are having antimicrobial activities such as turmeric. If added in the food, it has antimicrobial activity because the structure chemically the food has those components which will kill microorganism. When we talk about factors for growth, we should make sure that it should not have antimicrobial substance. On the other hand, if you want to stop the growth of microorganism, we need to add certain antimicrobial substance to the food. And if we see in today's world, we are talking about antimicrobial substance such as bacterial cells. They are coming from lactic acid and they are used as biopreservatives. Some food inherently contain inherent and natural occurring antimicrobial compounds that can provide microbiological stability to them. There are a number of plant-based antimicrobial constituents known, for examples like the essential oils, tannins, glycosides, the resins that can be found in certain food. Now, when we talk about inhibitory substance and biological structure, they're basically natural covering found on plant and animal origin foods, may prevent the entry and growth of microbial cells. So these coverings generally protect the inner content. So these structures are considered as a physical barrier and they are the excellent they provide excellent protection from pathogenic microorganisms. Examples include covering of fruits and vegetables, test of seeds, cells of nuts, animal hide, that is animal skin, egg, cuticle, shells and membranes. Thank you all for patiently listening.